Anything that we had done previously with that third thing, does that ring a bell to anybody?
A third thing?
Right. There's the one that got captured when you guys were being kidnapped and taken out.
Mhm.
That's when you interrogated.
And there's one
There's a second one that you captured that was part of that group that came out to the sunken fortress.
Right.
There's a third weapon thing. Was there any discussion about him at all? I was trying to remember.
Not that I remember, but it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, I don't remember three.
How did we capture him? How did we capture the third one?
We didn't.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to figure out. Did anything happen with the third one?
I don't remember there being a third one. I always thought it was the chieftain.
Oh yeah, no, it was the chieftain who captured him because he was behaving oddly or something.
Yeah, and he was upset that his guys were possessed.
Right.
That sounds a little familiar. Okay, I can go with that. Okay, so you've got the three things essentially tied up.
Yeah.
And the shaman can go ahead and release those three. So what did you want to discuss with them up front before things get rolling?
Well, yeah, I think to Arestra's point, we want to determine if we can whether they were compelled or went willingly.
These three were compelled.
Okay. So, I'm sorry, it Pete's our face. Go ahead, Pete. How do you want to handle this?
I'm your what? I'm the face?
Aren't you?
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's the role of your character.
The noble with the oratory?
Yeah.
Oh, that type of thing.
This is your thing.
So I would individually separate the three of them and just ask them to declare their fealty to their chieftain, and then by what, and then inquire that their motives are pure, and we wish to eradicate the evil, or whatever it is, not the possessive passions that are overtaking their village, and try to evaluate the earnestness of their response.
And they will respond in the positive. They feel quite badly about the activities that they've been involved with, that the passion has spurred them on to doing.
So,
and they will point out that the priestess of the temple seems to be behind most, if not all of it.
We will relay that.
That's who they got their instructions from.
Before we went back to in our first return to the village, we explained to the chieftain, and yes. He stormed off. He was going to go visit the temple and
go confront her.
And lock it down and confront her. That's the last we've heard of the chieftain, and it hasn't been seen since. So somehow we need to...
But the word that came back to his household was that he went north to Runegate. And that's where the Dark Trolls then followed.
I don't think we should believe that.
Yes, I'm saying, what's the validity of that? So, I would ask them to suggest certain other warriors that were, in their opinions, trustworthy, that we should be able to release the spirits from them to build up a war party, just in case we have to confront the temple ourselves.
Okay.
I'm thinking perhaps the least offensive action would be just to surround it and not to allow anyone in or anyone out. as opposed to an assault, which is obviously an affront to the temple.
Yeah, remember, the old man was able to teleport around. So,
Yeah.
not that I'm opposed to the idea of surrounding. I've got way out.
Well, if he can teleport, there's not much we can do about it, is there?
Yeah.
Well,
We have to keep in mind that
He says,
we don't know how many room points he has. But maybe that's when he ran out of room points is why he teleported out. And unless there's been a holy day of Orlanth in the intervening period, he might be in the same situation we are.
is Orlanth? This takes us back to the question earlier. Why would Orlanth rejuvenate rune points to someone who's consorting with the undead? I don't see how that lines up.
Yeah.
So how are they going to get rune points from Orlanth or Nolder for that matter?
Well, what you're saying is maybe they burn them up and that's it.
Well, when you use a rune point, you're contacting the god directly. It's not yours. So this is where I'm confused. How are they getting away with this? That they must either they're doing something else, or the gods are okay with this.
Well,
maybe he's an apostate. He still knows his rune spells.
But that's like paladins in D&D these days. It doesn't work like that. The deity is in control of those abilities.
Oh, what you're thinking in your mind is that he should not have been able to teleport out.
No, I don't know how he did it. I'm just suggesting that if the god is if he's working contrary to the interests of the god, he wouldn't be able to use that particular ability of the god. It doesn't mean there aren't other ways to do it.
Okay.
Right.
Well, being that
I don't know.
Go ahead.
Because you're right in that I realize that it doesn't work the same way as it did in earlier versions of Runequest. But in earlier versions of Runequest, you could, because you didn't have rune points. But if you were at least under certain circumstances, you could be apostate, you could still use your rune spells. But of course, you would be pursued by your prior cult spirits of retribution for doing so.
I don't know that I ever played it that way. I mean, and that's fine. I
don't know how often that it occurred where I had a situation where a rune level character left their cult and became a worshiper of a chaos deity or something, or a darkness deity.
Right. I'm pretty sure when you do that, you lose access to any.
The female's the priestess. What is this old man that teleported out and in? We think he's a priest also? Or a shaman?
The Thanes can tell us.
Yeah.
I think it was actually the chieftain. You described him to the chieftain. He said he was the high priest of the temple.
Oh, why high priest?
Well, the Thanes must have been involved with him too, right?
Oh, that's true. They were.
So what's their take on what's going on?
We're going to have to wait until after we actually get them dispossessed, and then we can bring them into this conversation.
I think we did.
We've got to that point. Yeah, we're there.
Okay.
Okay, so you first ask them about who we should focus on and getting dispossessed. And they'll tell you the smith and his two sons.
Okay.
They also tell you that there is a young couple in town who have not been possessed, as far as they know.
Okay.
And that one weapons thing that was involved in your capture has been involved in a lot of the captures. And you can surmise that that's in fact the same, that they are in fact not possessed.
Okay.
They, like the chieftain, is a little skittish on the hermit in the woods, because he just popped up out of nowhere and has not been interacting with anybody much at all.
When did that happen?
The hermit?
Yes. I mean, let me rephrase my question. Did he appear after people started getting possessed?
Oh, yes.
Okay. So I can see that a shaman out in the swamp could look into the village here and see that there's a bunch of possessed people and go, you know what? There's something going on here that's not right. And if I go in there, I might get captured. So I'm not going in there. So maybe we need to go talk to him.
Upon your learned advice, let's do so.
Well, I mean, it seems logical, right? I mean, we know from the shaman that we have here that he can look at people and with second sight and tell us whether they're possessed or not. I'm sure he can do the same thing.
Okay. Well, we could do the carpenter and his,
Yeah,
or the smith and his two
the
sons.
smith. Yeah, I think maybe what we should do is get the people who we know to be trustworthy together so that they can defend themselves.
That includes all of the ducks in town. None
Why,
of the ducks have been possessed.
why would that be? Oh, they're Hamakti?
Well, not all of them. In fact, all the Hamati ducks are gone.
Right.
Yeah, they had a small barracks of Hamati ducks here that.
Now, see, that's another interesting point. The Hamakti are obviously against the undead.
Right.
And they were taken out first. So, so Brian, I do need a clarifying answer here. Do, as Ingrillar put it, if they are apostate, do the deities continue to empower their rune points?
How do you define apostate? Now, take yourself, for example.
Acting contrary to the edicts of their cult.
Yeah, thanks, Pete. That's you've got two deities. One is Ernalda, a light bringer, earth focused, earthbound, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you've got another which is willing and able to create zombies, raise the dead, and so on and so forth. I not mean raise the dead. I mean create undead.
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Are these two things not in opposition to each other?
Let's start with the more stark and move in. Let's say Humont starts worshiping Vivamur. Will he still get his spells from Humont?
No.
Okay.
In fact, he'll probably get the spirit of retribution.
Okay. So the implication here is that.
Well, we can go on that assumption or that premise,
yeah.
And then we can. We'd be pleasantly surprised if he's been granted his runes back, rune points.
If So then it gets down to then how fine that line is.
Well, we've got 3 Thanes here. We can ask them, did they have access to their rune points, to their...
Yeah.
Yes, they did.
Can they explain that? What's going on? How does that work? How is it that if they're Orlanth...
Well, one's Orlanth, one's actually Malian. I forgot what the third one is.
See, they were using Befuddle. No, that was Spirit.
So
I don't recall them using any rune magic. That is when we were fighting them.
The reason I'm drilling into this is because we need to know where we stand with respect to how to deal with the priestess.
right. Maybe there's another way of looking at it, because isn't there the table of...
They were essentially lay members to the serpent worship cult, which is a spirit cult.
Okay. So if they continue to have access to their other sacrificed rune or power, then that implies that the serpent cult was an associated cult of whoever else they were lay members or members of.
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
Okay,
That's where I'm suddenly thinking of something.
Okay.
There's this table. I don't know where it is.
Oh, the cults and their interaction?
The cult compatibility table on 311. Maybe you only lose it if they're enemy cults.
Well, we don't have to guess. We should know.
Right.
What page was that?
311. So I'm sitting there, they go from associated, friendly, neutral, hostile, and enemy. So, you can obviously get magic from associated cults. And you could probably, I would think, worship friendly cults without losing anything. The question then becomes, if it's a neutral cult, maybe that's okay too. Maybe it's only when you start getting down to hostile and enemy that you begin to have problems with your deity.
And again, that matrix is a social interaction. If you are one and you're into somebody from the other, there's going to be some kind of interaction. And it could be friendly, neutral, or hostile. And it doesn't have to be the same on both ends.
Right.
But if you start sacrificing power to a hostile or enemy deity, yeah, there are going to be repercussions.
Okay, so that implies that the spirit cult is at least neutral to both Orlanth and Ernalda.
That's what I'm thinking.
Is that the correct takeaway, Brian?
I think so.
Okay.
Remember, spirit cults are really kind of weak and wishy-washy.
Right.
Okay.
That makes sense to me as a player.
So when's the next holy day for Orlanth?
Oh,
Because I'm an associated cultist, I could go up there to the temple and legitimately
get a new spirit in your head.
Yeah.
Is there a combat?
Where are we? We are in Earth season of 1627. We've only been playing for 2 years.
Earth.
It is day 33, which is Fire Day of Stasis Week. Actually, yeah. So Angizi is next water day.
Yes, but Orlanth, I'm an associated cult with Orlanth.
Is next Wednesday.
And this is a Orlanth temple, you said.
Well, it's a light breeder temple, so it's got shrines to all of them, plus associated cults and stuff.
Oh, well. I'm going to get a cup of coffee while you guys keep discussing. But we should go down and hear those three. I like the idea of getting the loyal people together and explaining what's going on, or we're trying to protect them from further possession.
Right.
Oh, and they will tell you to stay away from the folks in the inn.
Well,
Okay.
They're not just possessed, they're bad guys.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
who would tell us that?
The
Thanks.
3 weapon things.
Well, we just arrest them and lock them up.
Well, how many of them are? With the citizens, they can certainly do that. You want to do that now? Let's go get them.
Well, why don't we free the blacksmith and his 2 sons? Right?
Okay.
Right.
We get a larger group together, and then we can go confront them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 4, 5, 6. Okay.
Now, did you say they're just bad guys? They're not necessarily, or they're not associated with the cult, but they're bad guys?
No,
or?
both.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're given tips that who the guests are, and then at night they
Right. Got it.
They're
Okay.
spirit cultists and they're bad guys.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. We need to kill them.
They may not even be possessed. They may just be spirit cultists.
Well, you know from the shaman they are possessed.
Oh, okay.
They do have the love, passion in them.
Mhm. Very good.
And how many?
Besides, after we free the blacksmith and his sons, I can make sure I get a good, nice, good new axe.
There you go.
I need a new axe before I can go and kill these guys in the end.
Yeah, I'll listen. I'll keep listening.
I would venture a guess that the weapon things would be able to scare up an axe for you.
Yeah, well, I want the best axe I can get from the blacksmith. After he may not have to make one from scratch. Maybe he knows where there's one lying around.
I don't think we have time to make one.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think he needs to make one, but he can let me know where the best one around is, so I can go and get it.
Make a power times 4 roll.
Oh,
Restaurant.
a restaurant. Oops. Add out all the dice except the ones they actually made. Okay. So my power is 15. So I need 60.
Yep.
And I rolled a 30.
Okay. Now make a power times 5 roll.
Okay. Nope, I got an 81 on that.
Okay. They've got some, was it hand axes? They got the smaller axe. They don't have a full-size battle axe here.
Okay.
Do the Thanes know where a actual battle axe is?
That's what they say. They don't have it. They have
Oh,
these
I
swords
thought
and spears and stuff.
I see.
Right.
I
Yeah,
thought that
they've
was
got a
the
small axe.
black. Okay.
It is
That's
a D6
better than
plus
nothing.
1. Yeah, it's the same skill.
Right. Just does less damage.
Yeah.
Small axe, a hand axe,
Yeah. D6 plus 1 has 6 hit points.
wood cutting iron.
Strike rank, though, is 4.
Right. That's what I was saying. After we get the blacksmith and his sons, they maybe I'll ask them if they know of another axe in the area. Not necessarily saying that they do, but
So we said there's 34 people that are possessed, 26 we can cure in a day. Cure.
There are, where did my list go? There's 44
44.
total people in town that are possessed. And the shaman should be able to take out 12 of those a day, of which you've done 6 already.
So, question is, how many are wandering around town and how many are locking themselves inside the temple?
Most of them are, in fact, in town because they're farmers and shopkeepers and the smith and that kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
There are 8 passion-spirited people in the temple, according to the shaman.
Are there any other people in there who are not so possessed?
Yes.
How many of those?
Well, sure. How would you know?
He can see.
You can see their power.
So if you're discorporate, you can wander around and see things.
Yeah, you're in the spirit world. Yep.
it's just hope he doesn't bump into an enemy spirit while he's doing it.
So what is the mechanism for these spirits to be assigned to an individual and attack them to possess them?
Say that again.
Are they guided? Are they given instructions?
The people?
No,
The citizens?
spirit. The spirit. How does a passion spirit know to try to possess somebody?
Oh, these guys don't know. They just know that when they went down there, they got attacked by the spirit or possessed.
This is just general discussion.
Oh, okay.
I can respond to that. This is above table talk. So that's your question, right, Pete? How does it work mechanically?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, this was Englar bringing up the subject, saying if somebody is directing the spirits to possess certain individuals, we should try to maybe isolate that person or deal with that person early.
We already did that with the big serpent. We made her flee.
Okay.
Now where she is now, I don't know.
To me, the innkeepers orchestrating who gets captured, sent downriver by boat to be possessed. So I think we should take care of the innkeepers first, without any other knowledge. So we've done 6. We can do 6 more.
There are 10
thoughts
on the second floor and 3 in either a basement or subterranean caverns.
Which question are you answering?
Non-possessed people in a temple.
In the temple. Okay, there's
That's good to
So
know.
the Thanes ought to be able to tell us the layout of the temple, what's in the basement. Are they prisoners?
Not the whole temple. They're just lay members there. They just go to the first area for the worship and stuff. They know that there are chambers up above, assuming support rooms for the initiates and priests and priestesses that are there. But they don't know anything about the basement or any caverns for that matter.
I'm just gonna throw a wild speculation out. If there's 3 down there, it's probably the 2 trolls and the chieftain.
they overcame the trolls, huh? So if we assume that the high priest was earnest before his possession, the other alternative is to release him from his possession, and then he would be free to assist.
I like that idea. We are making the assumption that they're unwilling participants. And if we freed them, that would change. So that's
They could
Yes,
at least direct their minions to release whoever's held in the dungeon or whatever.
right. With that in mind, after we deal with the inn, I think we should go talk to the shaman and see if we can determine whether he's on the good guys or the bad guys. If he's part of the good guys, then we can enlist his aid to do just that. Between the 2 shaman, they ought to be able to wreak havoc on the whole spirit situation here.
Okay. How many innkeepers do we have to deal with?
How many folks in the inn?
No, how many that are possessed that we have to deal with?
I think we were told the inn is everyone at the inn is cultists.
right. They're not possessed. They're bad guys.
Oh, I think
They're
they are
not
possessed,
followers.
and
They're
they're bad
both.
guys.
They might be both, but if there's 3, we have 6 more. Of course, if we kill them, then I guess the spirit just flees. But
They know, they're fairly certain that the proprietor, the cook, and one of the guests are bad guys. But there's also more people in the inn that are also possessed.
Okay.
Oh, and they might not be bad guys.
Right.
Okay.
Well, that implies the shaman go in first, take out the spirits, and then we go in and arrest everybody and sort it out.
Yeah.
Right? Which means not killing everything in there. A restaurant.
Okay.
Looking at you.
Be that way.
wow.
Besides, I only have this itty bitty act.
Well, I'm just saying, if there are innocents in there, they're possessed
Right.
against their will, and we don't.
So you're not aligned with this. Kill them all and let the gods sort them out.
So
No.
if there are 6 people,
To go to Bishop from the Albion Crusade.
so if there's 6 or less, then we can just go ahead and act today. Otherwise, we should try to get them all at one group tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Oh, that does remind me. There were 2 captives you brought back earlier.
Yeah.
One was one of the weapon things, right?
Yeah.
The other one was another guy.
A villager.
Right. Actually, he wasn't a villager. He's one of the guys from the inn.
He's a merchant. In fact, he's a merchant from RuneGate.
Oh no, not that merchant.
Oh, okay.
There were 2 fighters with the priest and the 2 newtlings that attacked you guys.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The 2 newtlings were wounded badly and wandered away.
Mhm.
The priest disappeared, and the 2 fighters you took captive.
Mhm.
One was a weapons thing, the other one was a guy from the inn.
Oh, he's a cultist.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
So
even
that means there's 5 at the end, not 6.
That means there's 8 at the end, not 9.
Ah, okay.
8 that are
But
possessed.
he's one of the bad guys. They'll point that out. Yeah, he's one of the bad guys.
So we keep him tied up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now I'm just getting to that earlier. Sorry.
Or we feed him to the crocodiles.
No, that's not the law.
Well, we don't know what the law is without a chieftain. Oh, that's me.
Yeah.
Strictly speaking, Pete, that is correct. Although there are 2 things here now that are.
Not only that, but you belong to a different tribe, not to mention a different clan.
I know. And I don't have any thanes. I need to hire some.
Yeah.
I think you are a thane. You don't create your own thanes.
I'm a thane?
You didn't know that?
I'm just a noble. I didn't know what kind of thane, what title it was.
Yeah, technically all nobles are thanes, yeah.
Okay.
And you're in service. To who's he in service to?
Right now, essentially Queen Laika.
Laika, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Because she's been sending you guys to do things.
Right.
Right.
Get your head on straight, Pete.
Take over and then and give give the land to the queen. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, and get your ass out of Les Melder lands.
Okay. So let's do something for today, and then tomorrow we'll do the whole.
Yes.
We'll
Well, we
do
decided the next thing that needed to be done was the Smith and his 2 sons.
Right, yeah.
Oh, I
We
thought
do that, and then we'll go from there.
Were they
Okay.
part of the 6 that we did?
They are part of the 6.
Okay, so that's done.
Yep.
2 queens,
Okay.
the bad guy, Smith, and 2 sons. So we got.
No, I said 5, right? No, this was 3. 3 weapon things. And then
3.
The Smith
bad
and 2
guy.
sons. No, you didn't do the bad guy.
Don't need to, I guess. He's
Yeah.
just bad guy.
Right.
Oh, in fact, the bad guy is not possessed. This one is not possessed. Sorry.
Oh,
I
well.
completely forgot about that.
He's a real bad guy.
He's
Yeah.
an organizer.
He is a bad guy.
He needs to be watched, tied up.
Oh, yeah, he's tight.
Let me know when I can practice using this new hand axe on him.
Let's go visit the hermit, and then we can.
Damn it, you'll let me know when I can practice using my new hand axe on this guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
And did we have we visited back those duck skulls?
I'm sorry, you're breaking up. What was that?
Did we visit Grandma Duck and give the ducks the skulls, skulls, of the Humakti?
Well, the Humakti skulls the shaman's keeping because he's going to take those back to his guy. That's who we was sent here to find.
Which shaman is that?
The PC. Aiden
okay.
shaman.
That was the reason for him to show up.
Yeah, that's why he was here. Yeah.
Well, we did want to contact Grandma Duck just to let her know what's going on. See if she had any suggestions as well.
Okay.
So let's go around the.
Grandma Duck will point out the same people that she pointed out before. Which are, where'd it go?
Do we know that all of those are
I thought
possessed?
she was.
Oh, let's do that comparison, shall we?
Yeah.
She pointed out the Smith and the two sons.
Yes. Who are now free.
Yes.
There's
We explained to her that they were possessed, and now
So
the carpenter, the
Carpenter.
smith,
Yeah, these are good.
farmers at 18, 19, and 22. The temple, obviously. And she also pointed out the dark trolls that were living next to the chieftain.
right.
Farmers 18 and 19. As
18.
people are discussing this, the shaman will point out the farmers are in 18 are in fact possessed, but the farmers at 19 are not.
Okay.
So
The
how
farmer
many?
at 22 is also possessed.
So
Okay.
how many possessions are there?
18 is 4, 22 is 6.
Well, we should probably do each home's farmstead.
Oh, the carpenter. Did I say the carpenter was possessed?
No, you said we should be
Said
checking.
she pointed out the carpenter.
She
but
says
she
the
didn't-
carpenter she's suspicious of, and the shaman will verify, yeah, that the two at the carpenter's home are possessed.
So if we do the farmstead of 4 and the carpenter of 2, that's the other 6 we could do for today. Now, does a person realize that they're no longer possessed?
Oh, yeah.
So what kind of reactions did Arestra and Davin feel after their?
Free at
Relief.
last.
Yes.
Great relief. No longer under pressure.
Okay.
Miss Grace
Although-
Alice.
If you're a cultist and you wanted the possession, that would probably make you angry to lose it.
I would think so.
If you were
So
a bad guy.
Yeah, so we probably
Or
don't want to do
desperate.
that. It would make you desperate, yeah. Could be. So
She's gone. She's gone. Where'd she go?
My love. So we agreed on, well, let's do this. Let's visit the hermit.
yes.
And the
I
hermit's
agree.
not possessed. Oh, we should know that ahead of time.
Yeah, the hermit is not possessed.
Oh, okay.
In fact, the
we
hermit
can,
is very powerful.
so we can actually free up the 2 carpenters and the 4 and the 1 farmstead. 18.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then, okay, so let's go visit the hermit,
We're off to see the hermit.
because the other one is disincorporated
Well, once he's
Arson.
done, he doesn't have to stay disincorporated. He goes back to his body and he can come with us.
Yep.
Okay.
12 out of 44. Wow. Then we do the next farmstead. That's 6 more. Yeah, I guess we're going to do the general village and then worry about what's in the temple. But I do like the idea of freeing up the high priest and see what happens.
I think between the two shaman, they ought to be able to deal with that.
Yeah, let's see if he's friendly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, off to the shaman, the hermit.
Yes.
A narrow trail winds along majestic elms, at times disappearing into thick shrubbery. The bushes between the trees are dense, rising to a height of 8 or 10 feet. The elms themselves averaging 75 feet tall. And they are the only trees here. They are widely spaced, allowing much sunlight to pour through between the ancient boughs. There is, in fact, a venerable hermit here in a ramshackle cottage at the far side of the small grove.
I suppose we just march right up there and call out, "Oi! I would speak with thee."
The venerable old guy.
The hermit of the grove.
I'll be up in a sec.
Okay, so he is a bent, gray-bearded old man.
He's
And he comes wandering out. He's holding an animal in his arm and petting it carefully. He
Mhm.
looks at you sidelong and says, "What do you want bothering an old man?"
Oh, forgive us indeed. Well, you may have noticed that the village down below is severely possessed by passion spirits. We aim to free the villagers, and we wonder if you would be so inclined as to assist.
Make an orate roll.
Orate and impassioned.
You're
Orate
gonna
roll.
pass it with
you
what?
need a passion spirit.
With your love the mistress passion?
Let's see. Orate. Where is
That's
orate?
100%.
It is.
There's orate. Okay, I need to go to the other dice roller. Okay. D100. Orate, go. I failed. Gosh. 80% chance and I rolled a 94. Oh, man. Ugh. I didn't do a good job of oration.
Is anybody going to try to recover for him?
I am from a different tribe after all.
That's right. I'm just thinking Kalimar.
Lenny, are you any better than me, David? We would know,
Checking.
roughly speaking.
Yeah,
Which is
checking.
What about our shaman ourselves? Our own shaman?
No,
Oh
he's
wow,
not. He's not that good at that stuff.
I'm actually pretty good at it.
And you can
Well,
say then what our
I-
friend here meant to say.
I think I went to
so much
prove
for
my odds.
my evolution. Yeah.
So what is the appropriate truth? Can I use truth for this? No, I don't want to use truth for this. Although it seems appropriate.
I should have been empowered, impassioned. What would I have used?
I'm not sure what's appropriate for orate. My inclination is to go with stasis on the basis that the
Stay with.
village has been attacked effectively against its will, artificially changing
How
where it
about
had been.
how about a passion?
Yeah, I can look at passions. I hate the Lunar Empire, and I think the Lunars are behind this.
Communication skills are earth oriented.
I don't have
No.
any of that.
Earth oriented. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I actually do. I have a 40%. I guess I should have taken the chance.
Okay, yeah, I let stasis go.
Okay, we'll go with stasis. That seems reasonable to me.
Yeah, you want to keep our villagers or harmony even with.
Yeah, that's true too.
Okay, let's see.
Make your stasis roll. Because you are determined and dogged to make this happen.
75.
Okay, made it good.
That's
Plus
the
20.
number I need.
No.
That's exactly what you need.
Rolling close.
Rolled it close, yes.
Well,
All right, so my orate is 55 plus, what'd you say, 25?
20.
20, that takes it to 75.
Yeah. Roll another 75.
Mine was 80.
69. It worked.
It worked. Okay.
You
He
needed that
will
success.
ask you what you strangers know of this village and the things that they are going through.
I, continuing my rate here, after I get my check mark, because that's way more important than anything else. I will share with him what we learned from the. Are we calling her Mother Duck? We talked to her
Grandma
about what
Duck.
point. Grandma Duck.
Grandma Duck and,
Yes.
and the chieftain.
Yeah. So I will begin with a brief how we got involved, and that in our consultations, or I'm sorry, in talking to Grandma Duck and the chieftain, we learned a fair amount about what was happening here.
And we were
I'll mention the
attempted
Mokti
capture.
ducks that got that they were all killed by this cult, and also that the swamp has been gradually encroaching on the lands here.
It's been
There
doing
were
that for
other,
hundreds of years.
yeah, there are other details, but
What other details you want to mention?
I over the time that we've played, I don't have those at the top of my mind. But I know that I know that my character knows that
The
those things were
spirit.
discussed with both
Spirit.
Grandma Duck and the chieftain.
Okay.
Even though I may not be able to articulate it right now.
Serpent.
Okay. Make a charisma times 3 roll with plus 20.
Times 3, so 13 is
39.
39
Plus 20.
plus 20, 59. Okay. Oh my gosh. No.
You,
Oh. Oh.
he grated on his ass. All right.
Sheesh.
It sounds like you may know a lot. What have you done? And you notice he's looking at you kind of odd. In fact, all of you. He'll scan the whole party.
What have we done? We
We've
defeated
tried.
a giant snake and drove off a spirit. What do you call it? Serpent spirit. Slew countless zombies.
At that, his eye will tweak up.
Some of them more than once. We had to
Then
disable.
we fed, and then we fed after we killed them again. We fed them to the crocodiles.
Well, fight them twice. Twice on me, thrice on you, right?
Okay, Angrilar. Make a
Yes.
charisma times 3 roll with a plus 20.
That would be 3 more than what, because mine was 14. So I need a 14, 28, 52, 72, right? Oh, 42 plus 20, 62. 62, he says. We haven't rolled the lowest roll.
You guys.
Is 69. Oh well. Yes, Arestra. Perhaps you
He
can
just
join
does
him.
not seem convinced.
But you want me to threaten him with my axe?
Before you do that, maybe we can sweet talk the shaman, who I'm sure has a higher charisma because shaman.
Not necessarily.
Uh-oh.
Because maybe it's heavy mercenary, heavy infantry.
Oh my gosh. We have a shaman who doesn't have any charisma. Wow.
But if you can't, if you don't trust us, perhaps you will just agree to stay out of the situation as we try to
Well,
cleanse the village. Don't want them to interfere.
No, we don't. That's true. Check something here, though.
do we have a couple of Thanes here? Can't they prevail upon him?
Yeah.
Remember, he's considered an outsider here.
Got a rune says this guy got stabbed all over.
Oh.
Glean what his affiliations might be, cults.
He is.
He's hiding in the woods.
All shaman. Either the hills or the woods or
He's not in the
never
water.
in town.
Getting old sucks, gentlemen.
I say it gets old, getting old.
I was going to say. The youngins aren't allowed to complain about that yet.
Okay. Yeah, he will step forward, point out the prominent truth rune that he has emblazoned on his face. And as a follower of Makti, he has promises, not the right word.
Another Hamakti shaman?
No, this is Aiden's character.
Oh, yeah.
Covenants to only tell the truth to everyone. And then he will go over how you guys rescued him
Well,
after he was taken captive, but had resisted the serpent spirit. And that together you slew the creature. Well, he didn't slay that creature, did you?
but we released the passion spirits within those two.
Yeah, we made it flee.
That you caused the spirit to flee.
Yeah.
And that you have, that he helped release two of the party members from the grip of the passion spirits. That should do something. Okay.
Thanks, Aiden. Good call.
Truth.
Now watch him roll a 97.
What do I have? Yeah.
Yep, that's enough. Okay. 46 will do it. He needed a 53.
God. That's what I needed.
That does get pretty stressful there, doesn't it? So after that, he will say, I see. You did not flay the creature, but you did cause it to flee. And it looks like you have already begun to ease the evil upon this village.
Mm-hmm.
What help do you seek from me?
Well, more rapid expulsion of these passion spirits within the villagers, so that the chance of repossession is minimized.
And I think when it comes to the priestess and there were two priests in the temple. I suspect they are going to be the greatest threat to the village in the long term.
So I asked the arrestor and Davin. I said, when you were possessed, were you somehow compelled, or was there some compulsion to try to combat us as we were fighting the other party? I know you.
Yeah.
Sometimes you stood there and reflected.
Yeah, it was never hostile towards you. It was just a lack of hostility towards the other.
So why would the high priest attack us and the Thanes unless they had some compulsion to do it?
Well, I think the way to look at it is when your best beloved asks you to do something,
You do it.
yeah, and it's very,
Wholeheartedly.
very difficult to resist that.
Wholeheartedly. Okay. So again, I go back to the point. Perhaps tomorrow we will. Well, let's try to free up the whole village, and then we can go after them.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
No, I think that's the correct thing to do. We need to free the village, and
because people are going to come and go to the temple otherwise. So,
and
Yeah.
they might be able to call anyone who's possessed to help them. So we want to remove that possibility, and we don't want the villagers to get hurt. I look at a restaurant, right?
What I was going to say is, it seems to me that maybe these other people were like brought into the presence. You know, they had been kidnapped and possessed in the presence of the spirit,
serpent
and
spirit.
they got whereas we were possessed, but we were wandering around, so we were never in the presence of the spirit at a time when it was able to give us some sort of instructions.
Yeah, we understood it had some sort of mesmerizing contact once in his presence.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, sir, would you able to assist us with spirit combat, expel or exorcisms?
He will take the other shaman by the arm and say, well, it's getting late at this point, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
We've already done our 12, right?
Yeah.
Or 12.
And say, shall we do this in the morning then?
We did
Yes.
the first 6. We were going to do the second, 2 carpenters and the family of 4 today. And then we can return and we can do another, maybe the rest of the village tomorrow.
In fact, why don't you come with us into the village?
Yeah, I would prefer to stay here. But if you wish to spend the night, you are more than welcome.
All right, let's do that then.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he'll set up a little campfire and get things going, and he'll bring
I'll
out
help
food
out.
and all that good stuff.
I need to go ahead and step away. You guys keep going. I'll be back in 5 minutes. Okay.
Sounds good. Yeah. But yeah, help out with evening's preparations. And ask about him. Where are you from? Why did you come here?
He will avoid questions about his past, but he came here to get away from people. there aren't so many people near the edge of the marsh.
True. That's true.
Okay.
We do need to know what's happened to the chieftain. Prior investigations suggest that there are 3 people imprisoned below the temple. We're curious if one of those, if those are the 2 trolls and the chieftain.
Yeah, we won't be able to tell until we actually get there.
Okay.
That is odd. Get something off there. Okay. Here we go. Okay, so excuse me. My goodness.
You guys taking a break?
No, I'm just been
You're
working
just
out some
quiet.
stuff with the other shaman,
Oh.
the village shaman. Okay. Because of Aiden's special magic point thing for spirit combat deal, makes him much more powerful than even this shaman here. So we're back to 18. We're up to only 18 each day.
Okay. So with the exception of the temple itself, how many days are we talking to free the village?
If we don't address the inn or the temple, tomorrow you'll be able to get the rest of the villagers.
Okay. So,
Sure.
okay. So as a
Use those help.
strategy, I think we want to free the rest of the villagers tomorrow, rest that night, and then in the morning, the two shaman deal with any spirits in the inn, and it'll be a two-pronged thing. We'll get able-bodied people from the village and go into the inn. We want to surround it so that nobody escapes.
Right.
And so the shaman go after the spirits while we, on the mundane plane, go in and capture them as well. Now, we do know the secret thing below. Seems like there was an exit there. So we want to make sure that nobody escapes through the thing, the secret outs that they had, the one place that we were taken through.
Yeah, you were taken into the cellar, and you came out of the cellar. Now, within the cellar was where the secret room was, that you were hidden in.
Okay, so we don't want anybody hiding in there.
Right.
Mentioned that there were newtlings.
Right, that too.
Look out for them.
Okay. Okay, so we've got spirit attacks on the spirit plane.
Mm-hmm.
Villagers whipping things and parties surrounding the inn and busting in, correct?
Mm-hmm.
I think so.
The Thanes can point out the 3 bad guys or 4 bad guys.
Well, there were 3, but you've already got 1.
Okay.
So they know that the proprietor and the cook are bad guys. But they're not sure about other people that are in the inn that are possessed.
So we'll let the Thanes do the arresting and the law stuff.
Okay, and when everybody comes busting in, they're just going to give up. They don't want to get killed.
That's
and
good.
you will find 5 men in the common room and a merchant in one of the other rooms that by this point were possessed but no longer are. And none of those 6 are bad guys, just the cook and the proprietor.
Oh, well, good.
So they'll be taken prisoner and the others will be released.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's great.
Do people have a sense of how long is that?
Yeah. Some of them have been for a long time. Like there's some of the families here that have been, for a whole year or more. Some as
So-
short as just 3 months.
And they might be neglecting their, oh my, look, we haven't tended the chicken coop in 2 years.
Not anything that severe, no.
Okay. Like the merchant would probably say, oh, I was due my hometown 20 days ago.
In fact, he will say something very much like that. Where did he go?
So I think Aiden's character probably has never met the chieftain, right?
Hmm,
So wouldn't
That's
know what he looks
correct.
like. Wouldn't know what he looks like. So we say, hey, go down below and tell us what the guy. He wouldn't know who they are. He would know if there's 2 dark trolls.
the merchant will mention that a ransom demand was sent.
Oh,
From where to whom?
so this sounds
From
like
here
what?
back to his.
this is also a criminal event too.
I see.
And he believes that it's long been since paid, so he wants to get back home.
Hmm.
So
Does
do
he have
we.
any intelligence he can offer on what's going on here? Anything about the priestess or the priest?
No, he doesn't.
Okay.
And you get them again?
Do we know if spirits, once they have possessed a person, can they commune amongst each other, or do they have to physically, like you say, disincorporate?
What do you mean?
Do they have a common communication amongst? Does, say, the high priest in the temple know that there's 44 other people that are possessed, but now there's only 24?
No, he would not know that. No.
Okay. So there's no common link or communal knowledge or.
No. Well, there would be,
Mindfulness.
but only through the actual spirit, potentially, but not amongst the people. No.
Oh, from the actual serpent spirit.
Right.
So if he went back to the tower, to the sunken castle, he would find out some things.
He might. Yeah, that's possible.
And be a raving madman now, looking for us. Okay. How many people in the village were cleansed, or what do you call it, exorcised?
27. You got them all.
27 today.
Oh, that was yesterday. You got all the rest of the villagers, and so far today we just done the inn.
So 27, and there was 44. 17 more.
Well, at the end we've got 9, so that's 36.
Oh,
So it should be just like 8 left,
and we know
which are the
that's.
8 at the temple
Oh, okay.
that you know of.
Do the things think we should have a communal activity in the long, give the village a, hey, what's going on? Here's where we're going to go. Stay low.
You're breaking up. Can you say that again?
Do we need like the things to talk to the whole village, or should we just keep being surreptitious, guys?
If you're throwing that out to the party, I think that's not mutually exclusive. We need to be surreptitious, but I think we need the support of the village to take on the temple. I don't think we can do that on our own.
Yeah, I guess we could have a demonstration tomorrow. And once the spirits are driven away, hopefully we'll be successful. That everything will return to normal. But I fear that the high priest is a lost cause, but we'll find out.
Well, actually, I think we can gather a little intelligence on that. We have 2 cultists, and the question I would ask them is, is the temple in on this? Did you come here and compromise them, or are they willing participants?
The two bad guys, yeah.
The
The
okay, so
cultists
you're
are-
asking the innkeeper and the cook these
Yeah.
questions.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
okay.
I would put this to the Thanes that these two guys are a source of information on what's actually happened here. And we need to know whether the temple has been compromised, or were they willing participants in the cult taking over here? In other words, is the high priestess in on this? Or was she possessed by a passion spirit like the rest of us?
Is there any way to?
They were seduced by the priestess into being a part of the cult.
So these two cultists were seduced by the high priestess in the Ernalda temple.
Well, the priestess, not the high priest.
Okay.
The priestess is the linchpin in the temple. So if we free the high priest and the other four, only the priestess needs to be dealt with. It appears.
Yeah, they never interacted with or saw the high priest.
Okay.
They've only interacted with the priestess. And she's been involved in everything, and she was already involved before they were, hired on.
Okay,
Coerced.
that's what we needed to know.
Do we know which deity the priestess notionally worships?
Ronaldo.
Okay. Wow.
She's got snake tattoos all over herself.
Yeah. Okay.
Ernalda, but she's got snake tattoos.
Ernalda, snakes are part of the Ernalda worship.
Aren't there two
Aspects?
Thank you, Pete. To Ernalda.
What do you mean?
There's
She's got more than two, I think.
So what happens? So what
There-
caused the?
there's the nice one, and then there's the not as nice one.
I don't believe so. Because Ronaldo's statement is there is always another option. Or that says violence is always an option, and Ronaldo says there's always another option. That's the balance there.
What I'm trying to get to is this whole undead thing. That
Yeah,
is
raising-
not in keeping with Ernalda. I don't know how to reconcile that.
Well, maybe it was the serpent spirit that was actually raising the dead, creating zombies. And they may not be aware of this.
Yeah, Ronaldo is fertility, earth, and harmony.
Yeah, there's.
The mother of life.
I'm pretty sure that's antithetical to unlife.
I don't think so.
Let's go.
So, but this was an Ernalda temple. Oh, it was an Ernalda temple before the priestess got here, wasn't it?
Oh yeah.
And she was there before these two bad guys got recruited.
Yep.
Right. Okay. All right. Okay. So, I guess we don't know whether she's compelled against her will or not. That seems to lean in the direction that she isn't, but we don't really know that for sure. So I don't think we want to go in there with undue violence. I think as a strategy, we want to, again, send the 2 shaman in on the spirit plane to go after the spirits, the possession spirits. We know there's 9 of them. In fact,
Wait, I thought there was only 4 left.
8.
8. Okay.
8 left.
Right. So they can go after the lesser ones first.
And
While we,
from the people here, you also know that there are 2 servants that maintain the grounds.
okay.
There's the priestess, there's the high priest, and there are 5 minor priestesses, priests, initiate plus kind of people that
Okay.
are resident in the temple, now.
Okay. So, yeah, I think the 2 shaman go in on the spirit plane, go after the lesser spirits first. Hopefully that frees those people so that we don't have to kill them. And we work our way up to the priest and the high priestess, or high priestess and the whatever it is.
There's a priestess and a high priest.
Okay, there we go. Priestess and high priest. And we met the high priest.
Yes, you did. And you've seen the priestess in visions.
Yeah.
Or in memory, however you want to call that.
Yeah. All right, let's do this.
Let me check something.
So there are different strengths, if you will, of spirits, right? Lesser spirits, greater spirits.
I think it's just a measure of power.
Yeah.
And there's more than 3.
So
There's like 9. You want to actually count numbers. 9 levels of power. 9 power levels of spirits.
and what have we entered with the passion spirits?
The passion spirits have all been essentially level 3, level 4-ish.
So if there's one much superior one, like level 6 or 7 or 8, whatever, the combat is not for. I can see why I would say start with the lesser and go to the greater, I guess.
Well, my thinking is that, and I mean, this is strategy talk, right?
Yep.
My thinking is that if we can free the people that are possessed, that they will that they're not willing participants, and that we won't have to kill them,
True.
and that they in turn can help us move further up the line, so to speak.
Okay. Well, we know the high priest has definitely been violent towards us.
But he wasn't to begin with.
Right.
That's right.
So why is that?
Because the serpent spirit told him.
Right.
Well, I
That's
think they
right.
want to convert people. I mean, that's been their mode of operation. But
Then in the middle of the battle, he got instructions that said, "Don't do that."
wait, what? Who said that?
I'm just saying that my speculation is that he was helpful at first, and then when he saw what was going on, he got some sort of instructions from on high that, invoked his passion spirit to turn against us. That's
Well,
why He started to help us, and then he switched sides.
That's after his own party, the Thane and the other guy attacked us.
Right.
And as I recall, he was confused about what was going on to begin with.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah, I think we should free him up too. He might be. So I'll point him
That would
to.
explain, that would explain if he was being possessed. That would explain why.
Maybe he was possessed about the same time you were possessed. Aha. We'll
Yeah.
never know until we talk to the man.
Actually, I think we do know the answer to that. He was in the vision that I had when I rifled through the mind of the Thane. He was there, along with the priestess.
But where was he?
In the temple where the serpent was,
Do you remember where in reference to everyone else?
behind her, off to the side. I don't know. He wasn't. Oh, wait. He was in the back. He was behind everybody. He was
That's right.
behind the crowd.
And where was
Yeah.
she?
Up in front.
Yeah.
So maybe the
What you're saying,
two should go after him first and free him.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Free the
Well,
lesser one, the priest.
Mhm.
what I heard you say is free the lesser one, priest.
Lesser ones, as you stated, and then go. Next pride after that would be the priest, and then the priestess would be last.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah.
So we may have to kill the priestess.
Right. That's what IRS were thinking is, okay,
All
we
right.
we don't have to kill anybody except the priests.
Maybe. Well, I agree. Let's go with that order of activity. Okay, you got that, Brian?
No, give it to me again.
You're up, Pete.
First,
Groundskeeper,
okay,
the groundskeepers,
the people who are doing the spirit combat kind of stuff,
yeah,
using second sight, can only tell three things. Is this person's power 5 below mine, 5 above mine, or somewhere in between?
okay,
So we do know
okay.
that
Let's start.
Aiden's power level is low compared to the new shaman.
That's true.
So between them, they can bracket.
Oh, is the new shaman 5
He's
higher than?
powerful.
He's
Yeah,
at least 5
he's
higher.
six. He's 6 more than Aiden's character. Aiden has 10. The shaman has 16.
So it's pretty straightforward. Aiden looks at a spirit and says, "Oh, this is more powerful me." The other shaman looks at the same spirit and goes, "Oh, this is lesser than me." So we know it's between 10 and 16,
Mm-hmm.
right? If the other shaman says, "Oh, it's higher than me,"
We got to kill it.
right? Then it's 17 or above. And if Aiden says it's less than me, then we know it's 10 or down, right? So we've got a bracket that we can determine how tough things are.
Right. It's actually not that precise because if Aiden looks at a spirit, he can say essentially this one is 5 or lower, or it's 15 or higher, or it's between 5 and 15.
Okay.
There's a yeah.
The other shaman can say it's 11 or lower, or 21 or higher, or somewhere in between 11 and 21. So a little fuzzier than that, but
Okay.
We would know that. They just incorporate and go look to come back and
Yes.
tell us.
Yep.
Of course, the other spirit would see when they see these other guys watching, checking them out. There's no
And if Aiden's character says it's lower than me, and the other shaman says it's higher than me, then we know it's a chaos spirit.
Okay, so we've got a fuzzy bracket that we can use to figure out who we should go after first.
So I was thinking
Yeah. Do you want to go high or do you want to go low? Or do you
2
want to go middle?
groundskeepers, the 4 or 5 lesser priestesses, the high priest, and then priestess.
Yeah, but you can't tell that.
So all we can tell is the
No, you
nature
said
of
what's the sequence we're going to try to free?
right, but we can't identify individuals. We can identify power levels of the spirits.
Right.
So we can bracket the actual spirit. So, Pete, so for instance, a power level 10 might be possessing the high priest, whereas a power level 18 might be possessing the groundskeeper. We don't know.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
So
All we can do,
we could have the nefarious highest spirit be innocuously over in the corner, tilling the ground.
right. Now, I will point out that the priest and the high priest, priestess and the high priest ought to have their own personal power higher than the groundskeeper, and they can see that also.
Yes, that's true.
So in terms of individuals, the groundskeeper probably doesn't have a 20 power. Just saying. So
Wonderful.
when looking at the people, that's who we want to look at to determine the order that they should be freed, not the possessing spirit. Make
Oh,
sense?
all right.
And I'm sure Aiden would be saying the same thing if he was here. Okay, maybe not.
Now, something that I'm really not sure about is, can a shaman tell the difference between a spirit and the possessing spirit?
Yes.
Because they're occupying the same physical space.
Right, but one's corporal and one is not. They can see the corporal, the spirit in, how to put it,
No, yeah, I remember something like what I think you're trying to say.
I would think so, but I don't know for sure. That's something that
yeah, there's a difference between seeing a spirit on the spirit plane and seeing a person whose spirit is on the spirit plane. And we all have that, right?
Okay, here it is. Covert possession. If magically
That's it.
viewed, the aura of a being suffering covert possession appears cloudy where the two spirits overlap.
Yay, it's in text.
And for dominant possession, the entrapped soul, which is the person's spirit, is visible as an ugly smudge within the aura of the possessor, or the possessing spirit. So you actually tell the difference between dominant and covert possession.
Yeah, that's why you said these were
Smudge versus
passive.
cloudy. Okay. All right. So I can share a couple things here.
Ooh,
What?
one of them is dominated, maybe instead of covert. That would be interesting.
That means they have control of the other person, right?
Correct.
Yeah, I'm guessing that's the priestess.
Yeah, I think I'm there with you.
Might take both of them to both of their what do you call them? Fetch to take on that one spirit, 2-on-1.
Technically, that's 4-on-1. Oh wait. Does the fetch actually engage in spirit combat when they're dispossessed? They're discorporate. I didn't think they did. I mean, it can still use the power, but I
Right,
don't
they use
think
the
they're
power, but they
there.
don't actually engage with the fetch now.
Right.
So
Okay.
they can shift off the PowerPoint drain to the fetch, and the
Right.
fetch's power also adds to theirs for offense and defense.
Yeah. Which is really powerful. Wow.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so no spirits in the temple are more powerful than the other shaman.
Oh. Okay.
More powerful, or they could be more powerful.
Right, they're not more than 5 points higher
Right.
than his.
It could be they're within 4 plus or minus.
Yeah. And none of them are below the other shaman.
Aiden share.
Yeah, so no, the other shaman. So they're all between 11 and 21.
Okay.
All of the spirits. Human and passion.
Okay.
Now we can tell that two of the beings, both the person's power and the spirit's power, are greater than 16 above Aiden's.
Okay.
So they're both powerful and their possessor is powerful.
Yeah.
And do we know which 2 they are? That's ultimately our question.
Well, that would make sense too, because if the being had a high power, you would probably need a high powered spirit to
Overcome.
possess.
Okay.
That's right. It all depends on how the rolls are done, right?
Yep.
I'm just saying.
Or if you had multiple spirits
And always roll a
beating them
0.
down. But that's a good indicator for who the 2 bad guys are.
Okay, there are also 2 passion spirits that are stronger than Aiden. And
More than 5.
1 person stronger than Aiden. That's not already accounted for.
Okay.
And then you got 2 folks that both the person and the spirit are within that boundary, and one passion spirit is in the between, and 2 people who are possessed are in between. There we go. Did everybody follow that?
Yep.
So where do you want to go first?
Question.
Yeah.
Are they all covert possessions?
Yes, they are.
Okay. All right.
But there are
No dominance.
2 out and about in the grounds.
Okay. Those are probably the groundskeepers. That would make sense. Where do those 2 fall in the spectrum? Let me rephrase.
One
There were
person's power is higher.
Okay. There were 2 that were identified as higher than the new shaman.
No, not
Were
higher than the
they-
new shaman. Nobody's higher than the new shaman.
Right.
Meaning 21 or higher.
They're all approximately, the 2 of them are approximately the same as new shaman.
Right. They're within the shaman's normal bounds. 11 to 21. That's all the people and all the passion spirits are within 11 to 21. But using Aiden to triangulate, we're able to find that 2 people whose power is higher than 16 have spirits whose power is higher than 16.
And that's the question I was asking. Is it those 2 that are out in the grounds?
Oh, no.
Okay.
The 2 out in the grounds, one of the people has power higher than Aiden. But the other person and both the spirits are in his boundary.
Okay. So with that information, we can, since I think we can identify who the 2 leaders are, that's the 2 that are at the top of the power spectrum.
Yeah.
We can target those 2, one and then the other, or we can go with our prior plan, which was little ones first. That is, all the others except those 2. My own inclination would be to go after the top 2.
It's not to be a pun, but the old proverbial chopping the head off the snake.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. So this would actually give us 2 things. If in fact they are the priest and the high priestess, I'm sorry, the high priest and the priestess, they can engage them on the spirit plane and tie up their response whilst we on the ground go in after the others.
When you say go after, you mean physically?
Yes, we need to do it on both sides. While someone is being engaged in the spirit plane, their effectiveness on the ground suffers.
Mm-hmm. Well, a rester's ready to kill the priestess, so
I
what's the chances we're going to win one of the spirit combats before we win a physical combat?
I think the spirit combat will go fast. You've got 2
Well,
on 1.
once we get one of them to go down, we can hobble them or tie them up.
Mm-hmm.
Don't have to necessarily kill them.
Agreed.
So we got our party plus the 2 things.
And villagers. Let's do this.
We say, okay, you go grab everybody and just tie them up. while we take care of the leaders. It may not even resist. Who knows?
Okay, I was wrong. They're not 8. There are only 7.
Okay.
So there's the 2 out in the yard. There's 4 towards the back of the temple, 1 towards the front of the temple. How do you want to do this?
I put a suggestion out. I haven't heard any other.
Oh, that's fine. But other than that, do we just march in and state our case and then let the combat begin?
More or less, it seems.
I'm just assuming that they're not going to acquiesce, that they will resist. But if they acquiesce, it's all over.
Well, we inquire with the Thane.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can barge in, or we can knock on the door.
Well, is not the temple open to all who wish to worship?
Well, even the chieftain had to knock on the door.
Oh,
Now we could do a ruse. We could have one of the Thanes go and they might not know that they've been
Dispossessed.
right. And so they could go and I escaped. Let me in.
Escape from what?
The
Possession.
chieftain's prison, the cell he was in.
Do the people of the temple know that he was captured?
well,
Yeah. Even better.
I would think that there were other people that could report what happened. I don't know. I mean, it makes sense.
They
but
will tell you that they have never come to the temple. The priestess has always come to them when it was time to do something.
Oh, okay.
well, get a bunch of ladders. Let's go do the old Frankenstein's monster. We'll go over the walls with the villagers.
I think we should wait for night and get a bunch of torches. So we got a procession of torches, and
We can do that. We have 3 Thanes up there. We'll just 2 and 1. Release the monster.
So what's the plan?
do the villagers have ladders? Can we go over the walls?
Well, the gate's not locked. You can go in through the gate, which is the. Remember before how it looked?
Okay.
So we'll go up to the gate, just knock on the door.
Off.
Well, if it's not locked, we just go in.
Yeah, so because there's courtyard area. There's like a reflecting pool kind of fountain thing in the middle, and then there's the actual temple itself, the building.
Okay.
Dia steps up to the double doors that open up, so that lay members can go in. Then there's a curtain across a certain area where initiates go behind that. There are shrines around one side and within the square central area.
Okay. I suggest that a smaller group, the Thanes and us, approach. The remainder of the villagers can stay behind the wall outside, so they're not seen.
Okay.
And once the doors to the main temple is open, that's when everybody goes. Pitchforks and screams. Rah! And I think our goal is to subdue the temple and figure out what the heck's going on in here, right? And
Yeah.
while we're doing that, the 2 shaman are doing their thing on the spirit plane.
Yep.
Oh, did forget to mention that there were 9 non-possessed people on the second level.
Well, we're not going to ransack the place till we secure the
Mhm.
high priest and the priestess.
Well, presumably it's an Ernalda temple. We're not going to ransack it regardless, unless it's not an
We're not.
Ernalda temple.
We're not going to ransack. You're right.
Okay, so spirit combat, when and where?
Well,
Before?
first, no, I think we go up and confront them face to.
It needs to be timed with our action on ground.
As a your actions defile the temple. Submit and be cleansed and see what they say.
Stand for judgment.
Well, yeah. You
Okay.
are. We can actually just say you are possessed by unclean spirits. Allow us to remove them, and let's see if they resist. Maybe they're not even aware.
It is covert after all.
I mean, we're not going to go in there and say, "Mistress, Mistress is a death cultist." Oh no! She raises zombies or creates zombies.
That's just wrong.
It's wrong.
Okay, so she gets the plan. Plan is go to the temple. The party, that's us and the Thanes,
Mhm.
approach.
Yep.
Seek to speak with the priestess. When they open the doors, that's when all hell breaks loose.
As soon as they open the doors.
Well,
We could try to state our case.
sure. Let's have
The villagers can go subdue the 2 groundskeepers.
yeah. The main thing is getting the doors open, so we don't have to bust them down.
Okay. Okay, so those are hanging out front.
Yeah.
Party
Covertly.
goes in,
Yep.
goes by the reflecting pool, up to the double doors. After you pass the reflecting pool and go towards the double doors, one of the groundskeepers will, come towards you to see, what's going on. Can they help you? That kind of thing.
Or I'm sorry. I look at.
Thanks, Morgan.
The
It
2
should-
things.
It should probably be the Thane speaking, right?
Sorry. Yep. I
Okay.
look at Anglar and then I look at things.
I continue on to the doors.
And they will say they've come to speak with the priestess. And then he will go in.
So as soon as the door opens, we're there going in.
So you just go follow right through behind him.
Yeah, that's our plan. He's not going to go in and talk to her and let her do her thing before we get there. That's not going to happen.
Okay. Everybody roll a
we're
d20.
Everybody roll. Just because. We don't know if a 20 is good or a 1's good.
No, we'll find. I rolled a 2, so somebody else needs to roll a 19.
I rolled in the middle. I got an 11.
We got to bracket the outcome. 15.
And then we need Aiden.
Just a second.
Somebody's tripping while the other person's.
And we need Subutai.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's here. We shouldn't ignore his character.
He's got a throw ready to puncture somebody.
Hey, David, what'd you roll?
I rolled a 15.
Okay, and then we've got
2 Thanes.
2 or
Or is
3?
it 3? 3 Thanes.
Yeah. And we've got Aiden and Subutai. Who wants to roll for Aiden and Subutai? I'll roll for the things.
All right, I'll roll for Subutai. Subutai got a 16.
I'll roll for Aiden. Aiden's roll coming up. 14.
Yeah, we're gathered there.
Okay.
Then we got the other shaman.
Oh, yeah, he's here too. Good call.
Well, they're discorporate
Oh,
because
that's
they're going to do the spirit combat, right? That's right. So
You
Aiden
are-
doesn't take it either.
No, he doesn't.
Right.
I don't know what, you didn't tell us why we're rolling, so
That's right. I forgot. Never mind. These are physical people going through the front doors.
Okay. Yes, not Aiden and not the shaman. Or not the Aiden and not the other shaman.
you got big Avestra there with this big, huge shield and a hand axe.
Yeah. None of these other people could find any other axes.
You just got, well, what you got is like a.
They're a sword and shield and spear community.
I know.
The axe you have is probably for felling trees, so it's just
Right. What about?
that'll hurt.
Okay, Arrestra, roll a d3.
Excuse me. Figures I made a mess. This is it. There we go. 3.
Okay. You take 3 points of damage to your right leg. Armor does not protect.
Okay. Right leg -3.
What? Somebody's attacking.
Egrilar, roll a d3.
Present. D3. 3.
You take 3 points to the chest. Armor does not protect.
What?
David, roll a d3.
What?
This
It's a
is
spell. It's a trap or something.
it's the spirit that protects this captain.
2.
You take 2 to the chest. Armor does not protect. Who's rolling for Subutai?
What's going on here?
What's wrong, Pete? It's just a spell attack of some kind. We went through the
No,
threshold and
I'm
we're
trying.
under attack.
I'm having problems with my character sheet.
Oh.
No.
What the heck?
Oh, somebody needs to roll for Subutai. I
Yeah.
got it. Another D3.
Yep.
1.
Okay, that goes to his right arm.
Okay, who's on that? Who's got his character sheet?
It's in the character sheet chat room. But I've actually got written down if we actually have to have him taking damage and stuff. I do need to look at the things, though.
I don't know what's going on.
His character sheet is not in the hashtag character sheets.
Subutai?
Correct.
I thought.
Oh, wait, there it is. I do
Yeah, it's
see
just underneath me, my name.
it. I was
Like
looking
the
for
real
his.
things, yeah.
Was there any chance on the subject of axes of there being a two-handed axe? Like a great axe?
No.
No?
No.
Okay.
Bound and determined.
That might put away. I need to practice with my great axe. I could have, if there was one around, I could put away my shield and use the two-handed axe.
Ah.
If there isn't one available, then I'll keep my shield there.
Okay, Subtai took 1 point to the chest. Got it. I wrote it down.
Okay. Oh, it's right arm. Subutai was right arm.
Okay, right arm.
Yeah, that's a wider.
Okay, got it. Okay.
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 So did we get attacked by spirits?
It was some kind of a magical attack. So as you guys are busting through the door, you want the shamans to do what?
I think they were going to engage when we engaged, so they can track us on the spirit plane, right? So when we get to, we're assuming that the two that they're going to go after are the priestess and the high priest. So when we get to those into that group, that's when they need to engage. Unless they can see what we're talking about.
No, they can't. They can't see what you're talking about.
Yeah, but
So,
we know that they're all covertly possessed, and we need to correct
So
that.
they're supposed to attack whoever you're attacking. Is that the intent?
No. They're to go after what we just said, that there are two that have been identified as being stronger than the others.
Yes. Okay. Those are the two they're going after.
Yes.
Okay. Those two are in two different locations.
Right.
One's in the front of the temple area, and the other's with others in the back of the temple area.
Okay.
Do you want Aiden to go to the back, or do you want the shaman to go to the back?
They are going to attack
Together?
the same. Yes.
Okay. So you want them to start in the front or the back?
The front.
Okay.
That's my take. What do you guys think? Is anybody else
Yeah.
gonna?
Yes.
Correct.
Yep. Spirit combat on the front one first.
Okay.
So on our plane, combat takes place simultaneously, and they are weakened somehow.
Yeah, when you're fighting off we've all been in this situation, maybe not all of us, but when you are being attacked from the spirit plane, your responses on the material plane are constrained, right? You can't both defend yourself on the material plane and on the spirit plane at the same time.
Oh. All right. Well, we'll figure out how this goes.
Actually, I think I said that wrong. But there are
Yeah.
consequences
I
for.
think it's like backwards of that.
So I know you can still see, how does this
You
work?
can probably always dodge or something.
I haven't used it for a while.
Yeah.
Look it up.
It's on page 366 plus. Oh, here we go. Once, excuse me. Once a corporeal being is engaged in spirit combat, they may not attempt any skill or engage in physical melee combat with a separate physical melee target without first succeeding in an intelligence check.
Oh, so they will occasionally fail.
And they may choose to attack the spirit attacking them using enchanted weapons without succeeding at a concentration check. Now, the corporeal beings in this case are not being engaged in spirit combat, it's the possessing spirit that's being engaged in spirit combat.
Correct.
So that actually does not apply. The corporeal being will still be doing whatever the corporeal being is doing.
Okay.
Oh, okay, makes sense. So we're fighting the corporal being,
And
and
they're just fighting this
the spirit
spirit.
plane. They're doing combat with the possessing spirit,
Yeah.
not the personal spirit. Okay,
Yes, exactly.
all right.
Now,
Okay. Yes.
before we get into this, we should probably give the two shaman instructions on what to do after the possessing spirit is driven off.
Mhm.
So we should have that discussion before we get into this, so
Oh
that
yeah.
we don't get to the end of it and go, oh, we would have blah blah blah.
Yeah. So what do you want them to do?
That's a great question. do they go after the person at that point or not?
I thought
And
they get rid of this spirit and then they go after the one in the.
Well, there's stuff happening on the ground too, and they're in separate places. So if it,
Well, I'm hedging my bet that once freed, if she's, earnest in her, then she will call out to the rest to stop. That doesn't mean they will because they're possessed, but.
okay, well, we got to give them some general instruction. So what is it we're telling them?
I don't know. You go ahead.
Well,
drive off the spirit and then wait till we engage somebody else.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
That's what I was thinking.
Or they can go to that other high power spirit in person
Go to the,
because they
can
can tell that.
go to the other high power spirit and wait to engage it after they sees what we do?
Sounds good. Yeah, so they're basically gonna hover with us, and they'll go after, in the order that we've already described,
Mhm.
the more powerful spirits against us.
Okay.
All right, let's do this.
Okay. Okay. So come through the double doors, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where did my map go? There it is. Okay, there is a curtained area about where the strike rank bar is.
Okay.
Okay.
I got three things. Oh, I did forget to mention that the gardener guy has a shadow cat with him.
Well, that changes everything.
I knew it would. Okay. So he opens up the door. You guys come busting through. He freaks out. He's holding up his rake-like thing like a staff to protect himself. Statements of intent.
Take us to your leader. What are you waiting for?
You can't come in the temple this way.
Yes, we can. Go on.
Yeah.
We're following.
I kind of look like, and he says, yes, you can. I'm like, I look like, yeah.
So the person with their arms up, it's not the gardener.
Yeah, it's the gardener guy.
Oh, well, where's the person that is the extra strong that was up front? That he said, high power person was up front.
Am I showing frozen to you guys?
You what?
Am I
No,
showing
you're-
frozen to you?
Oh,
You're frozen,
yes.
but your
Oh.
stylus wasn't.
Yeah, you don't appear to be moving, Brian.
Um,
Although I can. Oh, you are now,
me?
sort of.
Yeah.
The map is showing better than you are.
Yeah. I'm looking on a different screen than what my camera's projected from, and it's frozen up, and that's what I was asking. But you guys can see where the guy and the cat
Yes.
are, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can see your
Okay.
pencil marker.
Is it moving?
Yes.
Oh, okay, good. Okay. So he will step back.
Follow.
Where's the cat staying with him?
Yeah, we're keeping pace with him. We're not going to let him get away.
And he'll cry out, what is her name?
Ah, thought she was standing
Priestess
up.
Misha. We have guests?
By the way, I'm
Yeah.
going to use my coordination ring and my matrix in my ring and cast coordination as I'm striding along.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah,
I was gonna cast blade sharpen. So
I think this is a good time to spell up.
Okay.
I'll be doing strength.
Bzz, bzz.
Yeah, exactly. there's a low. Everybody's batteries get drawn on.
We all sound like electric vehicles. I assume the two things have some sort of buff spells.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at right now.
Is it two things or three?
There are 3.
3 plus me make 4?
Essentially,
I didn't know I was a thing. Am I a weapons thing? Whatever that is.
yeah.
So on my screen, Mike is straight above and Bruce is over there. And Brian's down there.
I have Pete down there. I have Mike up there, and I'm between. And then
Yes.
2 down is the spidery thing, and 3 down is Brian. And to the left over there is the map. The map is over there.
I have 3 across the top, me, Bruce, Pete, and then 2 below that, the map and Brian.
Oh.
Hmm.
It's
How do you get it to go across the top?
I have 2, 2, and 1.
I don't know how you get it to go across. Oh, maybe there's a.
You mean the portraits?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There's probably a thing to orient the There it is, the grid. How do you tell the grid to be? I don't have any control over the grid. I don't know how to adjust the grid.
Mm.
Okay.
Somebody attacked us.
And when the guy spoke, he faced that direction.
Okay. All right.
And he will continue to back this direction.
Well, I'll look off to my right.
I was gonna say when we get past the opening there, we'll look to the right.
Okay. There is a door here. And a statue in the corner. And the curtain actually kind of makes almost like a semicircle. It's attached between pillars. And you can tell it further down this wall, there's another door.
Okay.
Seems content.
So is this like the next round? We assume to have cast, or do we need a roll to cast?
Well, you've been reacting off of him. So he stepped back, said his spiel. You guys move forward. He stepped back and off to the side. What are you guys going to do?
Oh,
Strength spell.
Okay.
what?
I'm
Strength.
casting a strength spell.
He's buffing up.
A strength spell.
Yep. And the Thanes are all doing the same sort of thing.
I was going to cast Befuddle on the dude. Want him out of the picture.
Okay.
I'm going to go move around the corner to the right.
Yes. Take a look at that statue over there.
Try to figure out who it was that he was talking to. See if the door is open or closed.
Of course.
We can either do this really slow, or we can do this as fast as you want. You want to rip around
Speed
the
it up.
corner, run over to the statue, somebody else run to the door,
Yeah, quickly. This.
Sure.
8 hexes a
Yeah.
minute kind of stuff?
Yeah,
Okay, who's going to the statue?
I'm going to the door.
I was going to cast Befuddle on the dude, then I'll look at the cat statue.
Okay. How long does it take to do Befuddle?
4, is it?
Okay.
2 plus 2. Assuming it goes off.
Mm-hmm.
Character sheet.
David?
I am going to move up 2 and right 1. Correct.
Which way are you going to
Two.
face?
Just like that.
Okay.
Subutai is going to come up to my left and down. And he's going to face just like that.
Okay.
He has his bow ready.
Okay, this guy is going to turn and run the other way.
And actually, while I'm moving, I'm going to do a heal 2 on myself.
Okay.
So I get to see if a Befuddle goes. If he does, he just kind of stops in his track, right? Oh, yes.
I'm not sure. I know Muddy's up is in 10, so I may do that.
Oh, okay. I thought in the past they just stand there.
Confuses a victim. Does not change their beliefs or perceptions, but does muddy them up.
Oh, okay.
The victim of befuddle may not attack, cast an offensive spell, sound the alarm, and so on.
Well, it's running away, so I guess, yeah, can't sound the alarm. All right. It kind of forgets what it was doing.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, let me see if I did it.
What do you guys want the Thanes to be doing?
I don't know, they should be telling us what to do since they're.
I think they need to move up to the center there, and we don't know. Well, no, we do know where they. We had a report from.
There's supposed to be somebody in front and then somebody.
Right. So
Right.
we need to be heading in that direction. To that.
Yeah.
I thought the temple area is that behind the curtain. I'm confused with the layout of the place.
Right.
Well, you've never been in here.
True.
Makes
Right. We have a basic understanding from what the spirit or the shaman told us where people are positioned.
Of course, they moved in the last 24 hours, so that's fine.
There's one in this corner area somewhere. And
Okay.
the others are back here somewhere.
So do we go after the one first? That was kind of our intent to begin with.
Maybe the spirit is in the statue. I've seen that before.
We know that all of the persons are
Living.
covertly possessed. If a statue was possessed, it wouldn't be covert. And we're not aware of any other spirits here, right? So we're
You
looking
mean
for
spirits?
The shaman reported what was here on the spirit plane.
Right.
And all of that were
Okay.
persons either possessed or not possessed.
Correct.
So there were no
There
spirits
wasn't
on
like
the
a
spirit
temple
plane
or
that was like a statue or something.
All right, what's next?
Yeah.
Well, we can either go forward or go to the individual. As far as I can tell, those are our two options. The guy that just ran away looked to our right as we look at the screen and
Yep.
called out. So it might be the person in the corner that's alone is Mishka. I don't know. I suggest we go after the lone individual first. What do you think?
I think I'm ready to roll my die for befuddle. Taking too long.
I'm assuming that he was talking to someone over there, and I'm trying to find out who it is.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm hoping that these spirits will go after wherever the spirit is too. I'm assuming they're in the same place.
All right, Brian, what do you want to know? What are we waiting on?
Your actions. The guy ran. You're doing a befuddle. Whoever needs to roll their spells.
All right. Succeeded. Befuddle goes off. Unless it's an opposed thing.
It is power versus power. Roll.
I rolled a 10
On percentile.
on a percentile, yeah.
With a power versus power.
You want me to roll a percentile die?
You have to roll twice, once to see if it goes off and once to see if you overcome.
Yeah, overcome his power.
All right, so the first percentile die I rolled a 10.
Okay, so that's a success.
All right.
And what is your current power?
15, I think. Yes.
Okay, roll percentile again.
So percentile again. 50. There it goes. 20.
Okay, that's a success. You get a power check.
Yay.
Yay, so he's befuddled. We don't have to worry about him anymore for a while. He'll just wander off.
Alrighty. Back to the map.
Yeah. Do you want the what things to go in first?
Sure.
Okay. So they'll set up on the doorway.
You say there's a person in the corner? Is there?
So my take on this, Pete, is that straight ahead as we came in, there are 4 people back there. To our right, there's a single individual in this right-hand corner.
Were they
That's where
invisible?
we're going first.
This is the outside of the building. Does that help? Clarify things a bit.
No.
Oh,
I'm standing in the corner. All I see is a statue.
Yeah.
There's a door that you went past that the Thanes are now set up on. They're going to go through the door. Let's do this.
except that it's 11:30 and there's going to be combat and magic involved. So should we call it here?
And
Sure.
spirit combat.
Yeah, and spirit combat.
We got
It'll
all
give a
of it.
chance for the other people to take part in the combat, hopefully next time.
That's right. Yes.
Allow me to clarify that we didn't see or there isn't anybody off to our left other than the guy and his cat that ran away.
That is correct.
Okay, there's nothing over there.
Yeah, and there's a door and a statue just like on that side.
Right.
What is the statue of?
Excuse me, my goodness.
Demonic serpent spirit.
No.
As long as it's not a snake.
It should be Arnalda something.
Yes, there's some kind of earth or sky spirit kind of generic
Okay.
Lightbringer kind of stuff.
Okay.
Okay. You want to give us a teaser and tell us what we see in the door?
A room.
Okay. Can only ask.
Yeah.
A room. Alrighty.